Welcome to another video from McFatter Tech Musser. If you like these videos, please click subscribe.
All right, welcome back to another video in our project experiment. When we left off our last video, I had just finished, as you can see on your screen, I just finished the distributed file system installation on Final DFS 1 and Final DFS 2. We created a folder to be replicated, and I created that folder. If we look over here on DFS 1, we can see I went into that user 1 folder and created a couple images, documents, and such. Replication is not instantaneous. I immediately went over to DFS 2 and said, hey, let's take a look. I don't think it's going to be there yet, and it wasn't. It hadn't replicated. But if we look over here on our PC, under our user share, user 1, there's our replicated folders. Replication's taking place. All right. Now what we need to do is we want to publish this. So what I'm going to do is, you'll see user share is not published under replicated folders. Memberships, we can see the two servers that are replicating that. We can see our connections. Let's replicate that, and we're going to publish that to our namespace. That's going to allow it to be through our domain. Let's go ahead and share and publish our replicated folder in our namespace. I'm going to click next. We can see right here, we can see our different ones. We create shared folder, it's there. We're going to do next, parent folder in the namespace. So this is going to be the parent folder. You can see domain, name, and then a folder. So if I move this out of the way, actually here, let me cancel that for a second. I'm going to move. Yes, I'm going to cancel it, and I'm going to move this over. There, you can see project.local final storage. Let's go back into that publishing. So if I browse right here, I can see there's my namespace. That's the namespace I can use, and you can see I'm going to publish it to the domain. I'm not going to publish it to a server. I'm going to click OK, and the folder name is going to be user share. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Let me get rid of that. Look down below. Preview of namespace path. Project.local, final storage, user share. I misread. It says parent folder. Parent folder there. Final storage is the parent folder. So I'm going to do next. I can see a synopsis of my settings are going to be, and share. Success. Now, let's see whether it exists yet or not. Some of this takes a few moments to create. If I do a whack, well, look, right there it is. So now I've got the ability to access it through the domain. If I right click on user 1, go to properties, you'll see a DFS tab. I'm logged on, I'm connected to DFS 1 over here, so that's the active path. If I come over here to DFS 2, and if I do that same thing, / project, let's see whether the replication took place yet or not. Local, see, it's not there yet. It's not instantaneous. It'll show up. It'll show up. Trust me, it will. So now if this server goes down, once our topology is all replicated and everything, it'll work. This server could go down, and users in this subnet would still have access to the files. They could say, oh, hey, it's not found. So I could go into properties. It'll happen automatically, but I could say, I want to make this the active. And it flips them. So you can redirect to a different location if you don't want to wait. I'm going to open up my domain controller. Our DFS is working now. Our DFS is there. All practical purposes. Let's go over to our map again, and on my final DFS I'm going to mark this in blue and mark this in blue because I'm configured. Save my map. Lets me know what I'm working on here. Okay? I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to open up in Hyper-V Manager. I'm going to go to my domain controller because I'm going to be creating user accounts. I'm going to have Windows 10 machines. I'm going to have standard user accounts. I'm going to have user accounts in general. I want to utilize the storage on my file servers to store my user files. I'm going to create a group policy to redirect my documents, pictures, contacts, whatever. You can redirect virtually everything that there is that's specific to that user, even app data folders, to a different location, so that if this is a physical infrastructure, and we're talking about physical desktop computers, they're disposable. They become disposable. A desktop computer fails, you unplug it, you plug in a new one, you re-image it with your golden image with all your user applications on it. Your group policy says, oh, hey, the user files, they weren't on that computer, they're over here on this server. Redirect them, and the user goes, oh, okay, there's all my files. Great. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to go into Tools, Group Policy Management. I'm going to drill into my forest, move my divider over here a little bit, make it a little easier for you to see. Open up my domains, projects, group policy objects. I'm going to create a new group policy object, and I'm going to call it, just as exactly what it's going to be, Folder Redirection. Press OK. There's my empty group policy. No settings yet. I'm going to right click. I'm going to edit it. Folder redirection is a user configuration. Remember, you've got computer configuration and user configuration. Computer configuration typically controls the permissions and such. Where can I go and all that. User configuration we use a lot of times for experience. I'm going to open up policies, and it's going to be under our Windows settings. Right here, folder redirection. I can right click the app data and say properties. I'm going to configure it. I'm going to say basic, redirect everyone's folder to the same location. It's going to create a user folder under that location. I'm going to browse. It goes, ooh, do I want to be on the network? No, I don't want to be on the network. I'm just going to type it in. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to my UNC. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back over to my domain controller and paste it in. See, if there's a user named Claire, it will automatically create that structure below that for them. I'm going to click OK. Yes. I'm going to do the desktop. Basic. Redirect. OK. Yes. Start menu. Now, you know what? I'm not going to do start menu. Start menu is not going to be customized. What about documents? Yeah, there might be some documents, right? Let's protect them. Not only are we going to store them on a RAID array on each server, but we're going to do it in DFS. Pictures. Properties. Basic. Put that path in. Click OK, and yes. And downloads. Downloads as well. You know? Oh man, I lost all those programs. I lost all the documents I had downloaded. No, you didn't. There's our policy. I'm going to close the group policy editor. I'm going to go back up to my domain. I'm going to right click and I'm going to link it. Now I'm going to do this. This is going to apply to all users. Now I could be granular. I could do a group. I could create a security group in my Active Directory users and computers and only put, for example, maybe we've got sales users, we've got marketing users, we've got research users, and we've got a template, sales template. And it's got all the permissions that a sales user needs. So every time we hire a new sales user, we simply right-click on it and copy and type in the user's first name, last name, their username, set a temporary password. User must change password on first logon, and away they go. They get all the permissions. Remember, when you copy a user account, you copy the permissions. You don't copy anything unique about the user. Well, that user account gets group membership. Sales is a member of the sales security group. Marketing is a member of the marketing security group. You can nest groups. So you create a folder redirection group or whatever you name it. And you make your sales users security group a member of it, and your marketing users a member of it, and your research users a member of it. Whoever you want to redirect these settings for. Maybe you don't include your administrators. Don't know. We're going to do it for everyone. So I'm going to select folder redirection, click OK. It's now linked to my domain. I can close my group policy management. Over here on, oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to do this. A user, Active Directory users and computers. I don't have any of my Windows 10 machines built yet, so I'm going to create an alternative administrator account. I'm going to copy, and we're going to call this, we'll call it limited admin. Administrator. We'll spell it out right. And I'm just going to short the name. I'm going to call it a LADMIN. L-admin. And since we're working in our test environment, I'm just going to set our temporary password that we use in our lab environment. I'm going to flag it as never expires. Yeah, I know. You'd never hear me say that in my cyber class. But there's my limited admin. I can log on. So over here on Final DFS, I'm going to close my folders. I'm going to right click. Before I sign out, I'm going to go to command prompt. I don't have to do admin. I'm going to do a GP update. /force. And I'm going to grab those policies right now. Take a few moments. I'm just going to grab the computer policy, user policy, computer policy update completed. User policy. Warning. Hey, remember that computer policies get applied on system startup, computer startup. User policies get applied on logon. Right there. Certain user policies are enabled that can only run during logon. Do you want to log off? Yeah, buddy. All right, let's go back in here. L-admin. And our password. Right, you see it? Applying folder redirection policy. You may not have caught that. It went past pretty quick. I'm going to switch over here to an enhanced session. Get logged back in there. Comes our server manager. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Start. No account. It's still creating some stuff. Remember, it's redirecting. It's creating those folders. Do I have my domain controller still up? Yeah. Domain controller, not going to see anything there. But over here, I'm going to open up File Explorer on my DFS1 that I just logged on with limited admin. It's applying these settings. It's creating different things for L-admin. Let's take a look here. This PC, local disk, user share. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. If I go here, project.local, it's still getting settings. It's still learning things, right? I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to command prompt, gp update, space/force. It's not instantaneous. This time when it's done, let's see, it's still showing policies, right? I'm going to do no. I'm going to do RSOP resultant set of policy.msc. This is going to show the policies that are being applied to the computer and user account. It only applies if you're running this as administrator. If you run this as a standard user, all you're going to return back is the policies being applied to your user account. So you can see under computer configuration, properties, only the default domain policy, just as we expect, but it's the only policy that's being applied. User configuration properties, there's folder redirection, but we can see it still needs to be applied. Sometimes it takes more than one logon. Same way like what a software installation for a user. You may log on, you get the software installation policy, but the software is not installed because it doesn't happen until you log on. I'm going to do a shutdown. I'm going to actually tell the server to shut down. -s-t. You can do a /s/t as well. Time 0. Do it now. We'll turn it back on. My goal is to keep this to be a little bit shorter video this time. Last one I think was 39 something minutes. But I'd love to see those folders get created. Here comes Server Manager. I'm going to do a run. And I'm going to do the RSOP from here. See how it returns this time. Still getting a warning. So probably that same thing. Taking some time. Failed. Ooh, cannot complete this function. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't like something in that policy. If that's the case, then it didn't create my folders either. Nope, sure didn't. Well, let's take a look. DFS, namespaces, there's that. My project, my user share, replicated folder user share, published in a namespace. There's those properties, namespace. Let's see if I can reach it. There it is. So it is reachable. Interesting. Wait a minute, let me think about that for a second. What did I share? Let me look at that group policy. I believe I shared out the namespace, not the folder. Give it a second to generate those settings. Where is my folder? Right there. Yeah, that's what I did. I pointed to the namespace, not to the folder it was being shared. I gotta edit this. That was my mistake. If I come back over here to my folder, this is the path that I need to share. I need to add user share / to the end of my policies. I was in a hurry, thought I was just blowing through this stuff, and I went too fast. Let's see, I did desktop, I did not do start menu, I did documents. I did pictures, and I did downloads. Now, let's see if we can do this. So I'd love for you to see this happen. But it's nice when it works, right? But like I tell all the students in the classroom here, we learn more through mistakes than through accidental success. We'll go ahead and sign out anyway. Let's see if this does us any good. Taking a little bit long to apply the policy this time. Maybe it's going to work this time. I sure hope. I'm going to go over to DFS 2 and see if anything's happening over there yet. Love to see it working. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Right there! There it is! Already on the other server! Already there! Yes! Okay, so now if I come back over here to DFS 1, if I open it up, this PC, if I drill into the drive, local drive, there's my folders created locally in the user share, not under my user account. If I go to the user account, users, there's my LAdmin. You don't see any download folder. You don't see documents. You don't see a pictures folder. They're on the other folder. I've got to go project local and oh wow, I just had a brain freeze. What was the name of my folder? Final storage. Keep thinking of final space. There it is in Active Directory, shared across the domain. So now it doesn't even matter if the server crashes, the other server still has the copies. Folder redirection. It's a powerful tool for us as administrators. Use it. I'm going to wrap the video up at this point. So we've finished our DFS installation, and we additionally created a group policy that I finally typed the right path in that allows us to redirect user folders not to a share, not to a storage on a server, but to storage that's distributed across our domain. Not just resiliency in a RAID array, but redundancy across servers. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to continue this. We're going to be building out WDS, Windows Deployment Systems, or services, so we can deploy Windows 10, deploy Windows Server, deploy Windows Server Core, whatever we want to do. Look for that in a future video. For now, take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, please subscribe to my video channel. Thank you. Bye.